Hey guys, it's Luke, and today's video is a 1v3 guide. Being able to 1v3 is one of the most sought after and satisfying feelings in Apex Legends. Whether you want to solo queue trios, or just want to be able to clutch up in ranked, or the normal trios game mode, you're in the right place. I will teach you how to position in a 1v3, the biggest mistakes players make when trying to 1v3, and a bunch of tips and tricks to help you succeed. I also want to say that no one can win 1v3s all the time. Don't worry if you fail every time you try, that's okay. If you listen to what I'm about to teach you, don't give up, and learn from your mistakes, you should be winning 1v3s in no time. Before we start, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Okay, so before you even go into the 1v3, there are a couple things you can do to help yourself out. These things would be running the right loadout and having the right things in your backpack. The weapons you want to be running are the meta weapons for that season. In Season 10, they are currently the Rampage, L-Star, R99, R301, and Prowler. The time to kill on these weapons is simply faster than on others. This will simply allow you to kill opponents faster, which will lead to more one clips and quick knocks. Another thing you want to make sure you have in your inventory for 1v3s is grenades. Grenades are great for stopping revives and can give you pretty free damage if used correctly. Both of these aspects are huge when it comes to 1v3ing, so that is why I highly recommend carrying grenades. The last thing you need to make sure you have in your backpack is shield batteries. Shield batteries are the quickest way to heal. 5 seconds and your armor will be completely regenerated, so shield batteries are almost a necessity in 1v3s. When it comes to approaching a 1v3, the biggest thing you can do to help yourself win it is to start it off right. The very first thing you want to do, even before shooting your gun, is locate all members of the enemy team. Knowing how many you are fighting and what their positions are should be your top priority even before shooting your gun. If you know one is behind you, or you're in a position where you can easily be surrounded, then back off and take the fight from a different angle. From there, you should be looking to only fight one player at a time. The biggest don't in a 1v3 is putting yourself in a position where you can be shot by multiple players. It's almost impossible to outgun 2 players at once, so try to isolate one and 1v1 from there. After taking the 1v1, you should heal up and reset. This is where shield batteries make a huge difference. You're going to be healing up constantly throughout the 1v3. Having that quick 5-second battery to pop and regaining all your shields will allow you to be ready for the next fight. The general format you should be following is fighting one, then healing up, fighting one, then healing up, etc. The biggest mistake I see when players try to 1v3 is they lose their composure. They get impatient or panic, which leads them to making poor decisions or having shaky aim. Rushing revives is a great example of this. Most players, when they hear the revive sound, stop what they're doing and push. They've trained themselves to instantly push every time they hear the sound of a revive, which often leads to death or losing the 1v3. Remember, the revived player will only spawn with 30 health, and when that player is being revived, the other one will be isolated for a 1v1. I'm not saying completely ignore revives either. Revives in a 1v3 can either be your greatest friend or worst enemy. What you need to remember is that the player reviving is vulnerable when they are reviving, and the player getting up will only come back with 30 health. What I generally recommend is to not push if you're not healthy. Take the extra time to heal up, and by the time they're finished rezzing, you can push and re-knock the player. On the other hand, if you are healthy, I highly recommend pushing the revive. It's pretty much a free knock if you do. I've even gone as far as to wait for the revive, push in, and shoot them while they are vulnerable. Now let's talk about when you should thirst. If you don't know what thirsting is, it's where you immediately full kill the player you just downed. There are 2 main situations when you want to thirst. The first is if you have the time. If their teammates aren't around to shoot you, it's better to just get the player out of the way than leave them knocked. If they do have a line of sight on you though, it's better to just run away and heal up than to try and thirst while they shoot at you. The other situation you want to thirst in is if you are in need of an armor swap. This is useful when you don't have time to pop a battery and the down player is in front of you. You can finish them and take their armor. The next big section in this video is going to be on positioning. Positioning is how the average player can win a 1v3, and regardless, it's extremely important even if you do have godly aim and movement. Because the other team has the advantage, you need something to even the fight out. What that usually is the power position. The power position is simply the position where you have control over the fight. I'll go over it in this video, but if you want a full description on power positions and an in-depth positioning guide, I highly recommend you check out my full positioning guide on my channel. The 3 things you need when positioning in a 1v3 are high ground, angles, and cover. Cover is very important in 1v3s. You never want to be out in the open because this leads to you being team fired with nothing you can do. You always want to be near cover because this limits the amount of damage you will take. You always want to have a backup plan or place to go. 1v3s will cover more ground than normal team fights, and they are also longer, which will naturally lead to you covering more ground. If you stay in the same place for the entire fight, you're way easier to surround and get team fired. What you want to be doing is hopping from cover to cover, especially to heal, and you always want to have the next place you can go in your mind. This will help you not get trapped as much. Playing doors in 1v3s is great. They're perfect for a spot for healing, and if the opponent kicks the door, you have free shots. I highly recommend you play doors in 1v3s to increase your chances of winning. A great way to improve your 1v3s is using the no-fill option in duos. This will make the fight a lot more manageable for you, and it's a lot more fun to start out with than going straight into trios. Fighting only 2 at a time will help you practice the strategies that I just taught you and get you ready for the real thing. So to recap, run the right loadout, carry meta weapons with high time to kill such as the R9, and always try to have grenades and batteries in your backpack. Before starting the fight, identify where all enemies are and get the first shot if possible. Try to always only fight 1 at a time, don't rush or panic, and control the power position while having a backup plan. Following all 3 of these strategies will make 1v3 possible for any player in the game. If this video helped you out, please like and subscribe, and also check out some other videos on my channel. Thank you for watching.